So let me begin by talking about retirement. While goals can be different for different people, and planners like you keep advising people that focus on your goals and don't mirror somebody else's goals, keep your own goals. But one goal that is common to perhaps everybody is retirement, because we all are going to retire at some point of time. And yet when you are in your early 20s, you tend not to think too much about it. You think it's way too far off, and let me deal with it when I'm in my 30s or 40s and when I've earned something. So how do you go about building a good retirement corpus? When do you start? What kind of equity exposure should you take to build wealth which takes care of your retirement?
So I think the one thing that we've certainly started seeing changing is people start planning for retirement a little earlier than they used to.
Okay.
And I think there have been two big drivers for that. One is a lot of people just want to retire earlier. Most young people that we talk to now say that they want to retire at 40, 45, 50 at the most. And we're like, fantastic, great target, great goal. The question is, have you planned enough for it? What we're seeing also happening simultaneously is that careers are also getting shortened. And I think for a lot of people who believe that this is going to be, the whole India demographic dividend story, it's also coming with the fact that we're seeing people being forced out of the workforce anywhere between 45 and 55. And therefore, earlier, you had this huge ability to, work till hopefully 60, 65, and then you popped it at 70 or 75, and you had a very short retirement period. As time has passed, you've obviously got a shorter working period, and then you've got a longer retirement phase. So it's very, very critical that people understand the impact of this, because the numbers, when they compound, can be so significant on expenses that it just takes your mind away from everything else. Probably the biggest reason why investors today need to have equity in their retirement portfolio. When we were talking to our parents and maybe earlier generations, they would say the moment you retire, all of your money needs to go to very low risk instruments. I want to take zero risk because I have no income. And I think anyone who does that today would actually run the risk that he or she will run out of money very soon in their retirement and then end up being as disappointed as ever. So very, very clearly, equity needs to be there. The extent of that equity exposure is a function of how much of ability you have to be able to see downside on your portfolio. Because invariably, as much as all of us would love equities to behave like fixed deposits, they unfortunately won't. And therefore, there will be these periods of ups and downs, and sometimes those downs can last very long. And you need to be able to figure out how much you'll be able to deal with on the downside. But very clearly, at least 20 to 30% for most portfolios will need to go to retirement to have equity exposure with.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.